Hello everyone, welcome back to HEALZO. If you're over 60, I need you to hear this. We've been getting a lot of questions on our channel about safe foods for seniors, but here's the truth. Some of the most common foods in your kitchen right now could quietly hurt your immune system, mess with your medication, or even send you to the hospital. This episode is all about senior health and 8 foods you should stop eating or eat with caution. Stick with us. And don't forget to like or share to help someone you care about. Number 1, spoiled corn, a hidden toxin threatening your liver. Let's talk about corn. You might think a little softness or discoloration is no big deal, but for seniors, spoiled corn can be downright dangerous. See, once mold gets into corn, especially during storage, it can produce something called mycotoxins. These toxins don't just upset your stomach. One guide I saw recently on NC State Extension and the World Health Organization, mycotoxins like aflatoxins and fumonisins are linked to liver damage and even liver cancer. 278. That's not all. For seniors with weakened immune systems or pre-existing liver conditions, even small exposures could increase the risk of serious infection or hospitalization. And cooking the corn doesn't destroy these toxins, they're heat resistant. So if you're over 60, this isn't just about food safety, it's about protecting your senior health from toxins that can go undetected in everyday meals. Here's what to do. Check corn carefully. If it smells musty, feels slimy, or has mold or dark spots, throw it out. Store dry corn or cornmeal in cool, airtight containers, away from moisture, and always buy from trusty sources, not dusty bins or mystery bags at the back of the pantry. Have you ever seen moldy corn and thought it's still fine? Drop a comment and tell us, because this one's sneaky. Number 2, mushrooms that look fresh but might send you to the ER. You ever open the fridge, spot a pack of mushrooms, give them a sniff, and think, they're still good? That's what most folks do, and that's the mistake. Here's the truth. Even if mushrooms look fine on the outside, they can still carry dangerous bacteria inside. You know, the CDC and FDA, they say food safety guidance spoiled mushrooms, especially if they've been sitting in a warm fridge or are from unclear sources, can harbor E. coli or other harmful pathogens. 278. And for seniors, that's not just an upset stomach. It can mean days in the hospital from dehydration, kidney strain, or worse. Your immune system isn't what it used to be, and your kidneys might not filter out those toxins fast enough. What's even trickier, spoilage can start before any slime or smell shows up, and if you have kidney issues or gout, some mushrooms are naturally high in purines, which can trigger flare-ups or joint pain. 278. You want my advice? I have here for you anyway. Always cook mushrooms fully, no raw slices in salad. And if you're not sure how long they've been in your fridge, just toss them. A $2 mistake isn't worth a night in the hospital. Trust me, your health is the real bargain. Ever gotten sick from something that looked just fine? Let us know in the comments. We're here to learn together. If you thought mushrooms were tricky, wait till you hear about this next one, because even healthy-looking veggies can carry risks most folks never think about, especially when they're stored wrong. Number 3, potatoes with sprouts or green spots, a cheap habit that can cost you. I know a lot of us grew up with this mindset, don't waste food, just cut off the sprout and keep cooking. Back in the day, maybe it passed, but now our bodies don't bounce back the same, and it's worth thinking twice. Here's why. Sprouted or green-tinged potatoes contain a toxin called solanine. And last I checked from the National Capital Poison Center, solanine can cause nausea, confusion, and in higher doses, even hallucinations or neurological symptoms. 278. Now, for younger folks with strong digestion, maybe that passes through. But for seniors, especially those with kidney issues or slower metabolism, that toxin builds up faster than you think. It can strain your liver, trigger dangerous blood pressure spikes, or land you in the ER. And no, boiling doesn't remove the toxin. Once the green is there, it's there. So, here's the fix. Store potatoes in a cool, dark, dry place, never on the counter or near sunlight. Check each one carefully. If it's green, sprouting, soft, or smells off, don't risk it, throw it out. Senior health starts with small choices, like knowing which foods aren't worth saving. Drop your thoughts. What have you learned from a food mistake? Number 4, eggplants left too long. A soft texture can mean big trouble. You ever cut open an eggplant and notice it's gone a little soft, maybe a bit brown inside? Maybe you think, just a little mushy, I'll throw it in the pan, no big deal. But for seniors, that softness could be your warning sign. Spoiled eggplant, even if it smells okay, can harbor dangerous bacteria, especially if it sat too long at room temperature or wasn't stored properly. As I read in the FDA's Food Safety Guide, improperly stored vegetables like eggplant can become breeding grounds for harmful bacteria like E. coli 278. And here's the part most people forget. Eggplant, like potatoes, also contains solanine, a natural toxin. It's less than in potatoes, but if it's already spoiled, that level goes up. For older adults, this can cause digestive upset, weakness, even heart rhythm issues if they have underlying kidney or cardiac conditions. I've seen folks try to rescue eggplants to avoid waste and later regret it. So here's what I'd say. Buy fresh, store cold. And when in doubt, don't eat it. No veggie is worth a hospital trip, especially not when you're protecting your senior health. Has something in your fridge ever looked fine but made you sick after? I've been there. Share your experience. It might help someone else think twice. Number 5, frozen peas that stay too long, a quiet risk in your freezer. I was helping my neighbor, Mr. Thompson, 72, clean out his freezer last week. We found a bag of peas pushed way in the back. No date. A little frost on the edges. He laughed and said, "They've been in there since Christmas, maybe last year's." Sound familiar? Here's the problem. Even frozen peas can be risky if stored too long or thawed and refrozen. The CDC has documented outbreaks of foodborne illness from contaminated or improperly stored peas, 278. And if you're over 60, your immune system isn't as quick to fight off bacteria. What might be a mild stomachache for someone younger could turn into dehydration, hospitalization, or worse for a senior, especially if you have heart issues or diabetes. Plus, canned peas can be even riskier if the can is damaged, dented, or bulging. That's a sign of bacterial gas buildup inside, never safe to open or eat. What to do? Check the expiration on frozen goods. If the label's worn off or it's been more than a few months, toss it. For canned peas, look closely at the seams and top. Better safe than sorry. Mr. Thompson ended up tossing 5 bags that day and said, "Guess my freezer wasn't the time machine I thought it was." Have you been through this? Share below. Your story could help someone else. Number 6, asparagus cooked too quickly, not just undercooked, but unsafe. Picture this. You're making dinner. The meat's done, and you throw in a handful of asparagus just to get some greens on the plate. 2 minutes in hot water, out it goes. Looks green, smells fine. Done, right? Not quite. See, asparagus needs more than a quick flash in the pan. From what I remember reading from FDA food safety guidance, undercooked asparagus, especially if it wasn't stored properly, can still carry harmful bacteria like E. coli 278, and the risk is even higher when the stalks are wilted, slimy, or came from unclear sources like farmers markets without refrigeration. Here's what matters. If you're over 60, your stomach acid is lower and your immune response is slower. That makes it easier for bacteria from spoiled or undercooked asparagus to survive and spread. This could lead to severe digestive issues, dehydration, or infection, especially if you have kidney problems. And asparagus isn't just a veggie, it's high in purines too, which can trigger gout flare-ups if you're not careful. So here's a better habit. Always wash asparagus thoroughly, store it upright in the fridge with the ends in water, and cook it until fully tender, never just wilted. Don't eat it raw, and toss it if the tips look mushy or smell off. A few extra minutes in the pan could protect your senior health far more than you think. Ever rush through cooking veggies? Share your story, we've all done it. Number 7, spinach that looks clean but isn't safe for seniors. It's easy to be fooled. You walk through the market, see a bunch of fresh spinach, bright green, no dirt, no slime. It looks clean, so you figure a quick rinse should do it. Right? Not so fast. Spinach is one of the top vegetables linked to outbreaks of foodborne illness, especially if not washed thoroughly or stored properly. According to CDC and FDA reports, even pre-washed spinach can harbor bacteria like E. coli if it's been exposed to warm temperatures or handled without care. 278. But here's what makes it worse for people over 60. Spinach is high in oxalates, natural compounds that can contribute to kidney stones, especially in those with reduced kidney function. When you combine oxalates with contamination risk, that's a dangerous mix for senior health. A little stomach pain in your 30s might be nothing, but at 70 it could lead to serious kidney stress, hospitalization, or complications from dehydration. So what should you do? Always wash spinach thoroughly, even if it says triple washed. Cook it if you have kidney issues. It helps reduce oxalate content. And avoid spinach that's been sitting out or looks too wet in the bag. Don't let a leafy green fool you. The fresher it seems, the more careful you should be. Ever had a bad experience with healthy veggies? Tell us in the comments. Number 8. Sweet tea in the fridge, not always as safe as you think. You open the fridge, see a pitcher of homemade sweet tea. It's cold, it's comforting, and it feels like the safest thing to sip on a hot day. No caffeine jitters, no alcohol. What could go wrong? Plenty. Here's the issue. If that tea was made with unfiltered water, left at room temperature for more than 2 hours, or not refrigerated fast enough, it becomes a breeding ground for dangerous bacteria. CDC reports have linked contaminated teas to foodborne illness outbreaks, even in small households, 278, and for older adults, the risks are higher. A simple glass of improperly stored tea can lead to vomiting, diarrhea, or worse, especially if you have diabetes or heart conditions. On top of that, sweet tea is often loaded with sugar. For seniors managing blood sugar or blood pressure, it can spike glucose, increase inflammation, and worsen circulation. So how do you protect your senior health? Make tea with clean, filtered water. Don't leave it sitting out, refrigerate it promptly, and finish it within 24 hours. Better yet, choose unsweetened versions or herbal teas that don't require added sugar. It might seem harmless, but that pitcher could be hiding more than refreshment. Have you ever trusted a drink from your fridge and regretted it? Share your story, someone else might learn from it. Let's take a moment to step back and really think about what we've just gone through. Most of the foods we talked about, corn, mushrooms, potatoes, peas, spinach, even homemade tea, are things many of us grew up eating. They're familiar, they look harmless. Some of them even carry that healthy label. But as we age, what's familiar isn't always what's safest. That's the hard truth. Because after 60, your body doesn't respond the way it used to. Your immune system is slower to fight infection. Your kidneys filter less efficiently. And if you've got diabetes, heart disease, or are taking multiple medications, even a small amount of spoilage, contamination, or the wrong ingredient can push things too far. And it's not just about bacteria. Some of these foods, like green potatoes or spoiled corn, can contain natural toxins you can't see, smell, or cook out. Others, like grapefruit or sweet tea, can quietly mess with your medications or blood sugar. So this isn't about avoiding everything. It's about looking twice before you eat once. It's about checking how long that bag's been in the freezer, asking where that veggie came from, and letting go of that old habit of "it still looks fine, I'll eat it." Because protecting your senior health means being a little more careful, a little more intentional, so you can keep doing the things you love with the people you love for many more years to come. If there's one thing I hope you take away from today, it's this. The foods you choose and how you handle them matter more now than ever. By making just a few simple changes, like checking for spoilage, storing things properly, and skipping the risky stuff, you're not just protecting your digestion, you're protecting your heart, your kidneys, your medications, even your ability to stay independent. Because when it comes to senior health, prevention is power. So take a second look at what's in your fridge, clean out that pantry, ask questions at the store, and most of all, keep learning with us. If you found this helpful, follow HEALZO for more practical tips on eating safer, aging stronger, and living better. And if there's something in your kitchen you're not sure about, drop a comment and let's talk about it. We're in this together, one smart choice at a time.